After testing all the nerves in a region, return to the site of the highest dial reading you've recorded. The higher dial reading is an indication of possible nerve pathology that will be used to further demonstrate the potentiometer and a process known as recruitment. The potentiometer is less important in normal nerves, but is a very practical way to prove nerve pathology. In this example, the patient indicates the nerve has fired at 42. If you turn the dial below the setting where the nerve fires and hold, the potentiometer numbers do not increase. Recruitment does not happen below the dial setting where the nerve had fired. If you turn the dial back and up again, holding the dial at the same setting, the potentiometer reading will continue to increase as more and more nerves join in to help their tired neighbor. This process is called recruitment. This also happens in normal nerves, but happens more quickly in pathological nerves as shown in this example. This verifies that the nerve has actually fired at the dial setting. Here it is represented as a linear graph. The yellow line follows the potentiometer millivoltage reading. The blue line follows the dial, the amplitude of the stimulus. As the dial is turned up, the voltage entering the patient increases as reflected in both the blue and yellow line. Note that at the setting where the nerve fires, the potentiometer number jumps up, as shown on the yellow line where it rises above the blue line. If you turn the dial below the setting where the nerve fires and hold, the potentiometer numbers do not increase. Recruitment does not occur below the stimulus setting on the dial that caused the nerve to fire. If you turn the dial back and up again, holding the dial at the same setting, once the nerve begins to fatigue, it starts the process of recruitment. The potentiometer reading will continue to increase as more and more nerves join in to help their tired neighbor. So there are actually 3 ways to objectively prove the nerve has fired: the jump in the amplitude, observing no recruitment at a dial setting lower than what causes firing, and third, the pathological nerve begins recruitment sooner than a healthy nerve because it is weaker, so the time of the recruitment amplitude can be compared to that of one of the patient's healthy nerves. In addition, if you suspect the patient is malingering with a healthy nerve and denies feeling the stimulus until higher dial settings, turn the dial to a more normal stimulus setting and watch for recruitment. A nerve cannot cause recruitment unless the nerve is firing. Furthermore, if you leave the dial at this normal setting for about 10 to 15 minutes, recruitment will cause a withdrawal reflex, even though the patient denies feeling any sensation and therefore proves the nerve is firing at a healthy setting and is not pathological. Recruitment can be very helpful in legal cases where proof of injury is needed. To document recruitment, after completing a study, go back to the worst nerve and find the dial setting that causes firing, then turn the dial down about 3 points and hold. Record the potentiometer reading every 30 seconds over a few minutes. Then turn the dial up again and again record the potentiometer reading every 30 seconds to document recruitment. This will demonstrate the nerve is not recruiting and is therefore not firing at the lower setting, and verifies that the nerve is firing at the high setting, proving the nerve is dysfunctional. A video of the exam may also be helpful to demonstrate this in legal cases. Refer to the online manual for the correct positioning of the potentiometer electrode, specific test site locations for each plexus, and updates.